There are many reasons why you might want to build an audience on social media. Maybe you have something that you're passionate about that you want to share with people, maybe you want to have an impact on the world, or maybe you want to use social media to increase your income. Whatever your reason for wanting to grow an audience on social media, in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to do that. Hey there, my name is Gillian Perkins and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you my two-step strategy for successfully building a big audience on social media and doing so much faster than if you were relying purely on organic traffic. Now, if you've started trying to build an audience on social media and it's going slowly, you might be wondering if the people who have made it big just randomly got lucky, people organically found them, and their channel or social media profile took off. Now, there's definitely plenty of situations where that has happened, but I'm here to tell you that there's actually a formula that you can follow that will greatly increase your chances of success and help your audience to grow much faster. Alright, so let's get into the strategy. Now, like I said, this strategy has two parts. And I have to warn you that the first part is going to sound incredibly obvious and exactly like what everyone else is saying, but stick with me because you have to have these two ingredients in order to make this system work. Alright, so let's talk about the first step. The first step of the process is to create awesome content on social media. And like I said, I know that this sounds exactly like what you've heard in the past, but let's talk about what good content actually is. Your content must be unique, valuable, interesting, and high quality. It has to be all four of those things or else it's not gonna cut it. So let's talk about what each of those things mean. First of all, it has to be unique. That means you can't just be regurgitating the same things that everyone else is saying, just copying other people's content. You have to bring your own content that other people haven't already created to the mix. Now, we all know that there's nothing new under the sun, so don't worry too much if you are, to some extent, repeating things that other people have already said before you or making videos that are similar to videos that other people have made. I'm just saying that you need to be as unique as possible here and you need to bring something new to the table. Second, your content has to be valuable. Now, this might mean that your content is helpful and is teaching people something, or it might be valuable in the sense that it is providing entertainment for people. But your content needs to have purpose and it needs to deliver value. Third, your content needs to be interesting. Now, this is absolutely essential because if your content bores people, then they won't continue to consume it. They won't keep watching your video, they won't watch your next video, they might not even stay subscribed, they might not continue to follow you on social media or continue to read your blog. However you want them to be consuming your content, if it bores them, they will not continue to do so. Now, that's why it's so important that your content is interesting. And there's a lot of different ways you can make your content interesting. Everything from keeping it fast-paced to making it a bit entertaining to making it thought-provoking. The fourth and final attribute that your content must have is for it to be high quality. Now, each of the things that I've already mentioned, having it be unique, having it be valuable, having it be interesting, those things all contribute to being high quality. But specifically here, I mean, it needs to be technically high quality. You need to have good quality video, good quality audio, good quality lighting. Now, I know that those things are not essential for becoming successful on social media. There's plenty of people out there who have grown big followings even with a crappy camera or really poor audio. But if we are trying to be formulaic about this and actually break the algorithm and hack our way to the top, then we need to make sure that there's nothing that might be holding us back, and we need to make sure that the content is high quality, that we've got a crystal clear picture, the audio sounds good, the lighting looks good, and the editing is on point. Alright, so the first part of this equation is that you are making good content, that it is unique, that it is valuable, interesting, and high quality. And like I've said before, that is something you've heard over and over again. But let's now move on to the second part of the equation. How can we hack this? How can we make sure that we will see the growth that we want to see? And here's what we need to do. We need to leverage other people's audiences. So what do I mean by that? Well, basically, instead of just trying to grow your audience organically, one new follower at a time, instead, we want to figure out how we can attract a whole bunch of followers at once. The way that you can do that is by figuring out ways to get in front of other people's audiences. People who have already spent blood, sweat, and tears building up their audience to a large size, now you can take advantage of that in the best kind of way and offer to do some sort of joint venture or collaboration with that influencer influencer and get in front of their audience so that a bunch of people find out about you all at once. Okay, so from a practical perspective, what does this look like? Well, it might be you collaborating with another YouTuber and you both make videos on the same topic, or you show up in each other's videos. It might be you being a guest on a podcast or writing a guest blog post. It also might be as simple as just doing shout outs on social media. Now I know what you might be thinking. Why would someone who had hundreds of thousands or millions of followers want to collaborate with you if you have no audience yet or you only have a couple hundred followers? First of all, I'm not talking about going after an influencer with millions of followers when you have no audience at all. You need to work your way up. You need to start by approaching someone who has just a few hundred followers or a few thousand followers, and then as your audience continues to grow, you can reach out to influencers who have progressively bigger audiences. The second thing that you should understand is that you have something valuable that you can bring to the table. You have expertise on a certain topic, or an interesting perspective on a certain topic, or you're highly entertaining. There's something about you that you want to share with people via your own channel that you could go on someone else's channel and offer to their audience. As a creator on social media, as an influencer, we have to constantly be churning out the content in order to keep our followers engaged, keep giving them value, and keep giving them a reason to keep on following us. So if you can offer to an influencer to make their job easier or even to do some of the work for them, that is something valuable that you can bring to the table that can give you leverage and make people want to work with you even if you have a much smaller following than they do. All right, and then the third and most important thing that I want you to understand about how this whole equation is going to work is that the reason that I'm saying you need to start by creating a really good quality content that is unique, interesting, valuable, and high quality, is because when it comes to reaching out to someone to do a collaboration with them, the thing that matters more than anything else is whether or not they're impressed with what you're already doing. If someone reaches out to me, for example, and say they want to collaborate with my YouTube channel, the thing I look at more than anything else is not how many followers they have, but how good the content that they're already making actually is. Now, of course, not everyone who you think you're interested in working at will approach it that way, and some people definitely do care about the numbers. However, in my experience, most people care much more about the quality of your current content than they do about how big your audience already is. Okay, so now you understand both parts of this equation. You understand that you need to start with really good quality content, and then you need to not just stop there, but you need to keep going by reaching out to influencers and pitching them opportunities to work together so that you can make their job easier and deliver more value to their audience, and you can get the exposure that you need in order to start growing your own audience. You might be wondering how you actually go about doing this, how you get these opportunities, and my biggest advice to you is just don't make this more complicated than it needs to be. Most of the time, if someone has a presence on social media, there is a pretty obvious way to get in touch with them. They might list their email on the About section of their social media profile, or you might be able to just DM them on Instagram or connect with them via social media in some other way. But before you start just reaching out to people, there are two things that you need to do. First of all, you need to make a list of people who you're interested in reaching out to. Don't just reach out to the first people who pop into your head, maybe the people you're currently following. Instead, do your research. Make a long list of people who are making content similar to the content that you're making on your own channel or on your own social media profile. After you've constructed that list of people who you're interested in collaborating with, then you need to sort that list based on how big their audience is. And you need to start by pitching the people who have the smallest audience and slowly work your way up. The other thing that you need to make sure you do before you start actually pitching people is come up with good ideas to pitch them. What you don't want to do is just reach out and say, hey, could we do a collaboration? Or hey, do you want to interview me on your podcast? Because the answer will almost certainly be no. If you want people to be interested in the idea of collaborating with you, especially when you have a small audience yourself, you need to come up with some good ideas for content that they can create. Maybe this is ideas for podcast topics or for video concepts, but you need to pitch those ideas to them because one of the hardest things as a creator is constantly coming up with new ideas. Once you've done these 2 preliminary things and you have a list of people who you've researched, who you've decided you want to pitch, and you've come up with some great quality content ideas, then it's time to start writing those pitches. Like I said before, don't make this more complicated than it needs to be. Just send some emails, introduce yourself in a friendly way, and share your content ideas with these influencers who you'd like to collaborate with. Okay, so that's the plan of how you are going to successfully start growing your audience on social media. First, you're going to create a library of really good quality content that's worth talking about. And then you're going to come up with some great ideas for collaborative content that you can create with people who already have an audience, and you're going to pitch these ideas to influencers so that you can leverage the audience that they've already built. Alright, well that is everything for this video. I hope that you found it really helpful, and I know that if you put the strategy into place, you will see your audience really start to take off. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and also post in the comments down below and tell me what your channel or your social media profile is all about. What topic do you talk about, or what type of channel is it? And then finally, I wanted to let you guys know that if you want to see some of the behind the scenes of how I run my YouTube channel and my business, then I'd recommend that you follow me on Instagram, because that is where I always share the behind the scenes footage of exactly what's going on in my life. Okay, well that is everything for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys again next time.